The Odyssey, attributed to the ancient Greek poet Homer, is an epic tale that chronicles the long and arduous journey of Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, as he strives to return home following the Trojan War. This journey is filled with trials, divine interventions, and encounters with mythical creatures, all of which test his cunning, resilience, and determination. The beginning of the journey. The story begins in the aftermath of the Trojan War, where Odysseus has been away from Ithaca for nearly 20 years. The war, sparked by the abduction of Helen, had brought together a coalition of Greek forces. But now, with Troy fallen, many heroes, including Odysseus, yearn to return home. However, Odysseus is trapped by the nymph Calypso on her island, Ogygia. Calypso has fallen in love with him and keeps him there against his will, but the gods intervene, and Hermes, the messenger god, is sent to remind Calypso of the need to let Odysseus go. The journey begins. After being released, Odysseus sets sail but soon encounters a series of challenges. His first stop is the land of the Cyclones, where he and his men raid the city. They are eventually driven back by reinforcements, suffering heavy losses. Next, they encounter the Lotus Eaters, whose enchanting fruit causes some of his crew to forget their desire to return home. Odysseus must forcibly bring them back to the ship. The Cyclops. The most famous episode occurs when they arrive at the island of the Cyclopes. Here, Odysseus and his men encounter Polyphemus, a fearsome one-eyed giant. The crew is captured and trapped in Polyphemus's cave. Using his cunning, Odysseus devises a plan to escape. He tells Polyphemus his name is Nobody, and after getting the giant drunk, he blinds him with a sharpened stake. When Polyphemus calls for help, he tells the other Cyclopes that nobody is attacking him, so they do not come to his aid. Odysseus and his men escape by clinging to the undersides of the sheep as they leave the cave. However, as they sail away, Odysseus reveals his true identity, prompting Polyphemus to curse him, invoking the wrath of Poseidon, the sea god, the Aeae, and the Sirens. After more challenges, including a visit to the witch Circe, who turns some of his men into swine but ultimately helps him, Odysseus must confront the Sirens. These creatures sing enchanting songs that lure sailors to their doom. Forewarned by Circe, Odysseus has his men plug their ears with beeswax, while he, curious to hear their song, is tied to the mast of the ship. He hears their alluring voices, but, bound and unable to act, he manages to sail past safely. Scylla and Charybdis. Next comes the terrifying encounter with Scylla and Charybdis, two monstrous entities that threaten his passage. Scylla is a six-headed sea monster who snatches sailors from their ships, while Charybdis is a whirlpool that threatens to swallow them whole. Odysseus, guided by Circe's advice, chooses to sail closer to Scylla, sacrificing a few men to save the rest. The cattle of the sun. After these trials, Odysseus and his crew land on the island of Thrinacia, home to the sacred cattle of Helios, the sun god. Despite being warned not to harm the cattle, his starving crew, driven by hunger, slaughters them while Odysseus is away praying. As punishment, Zeus sends a storm that destroys their ship and drowns all the crew members except Odysseus, who is cast ashore on the island of Ogygia. Return to Ithaca. Eventually, Odysseus washes up on the shores of Ithaca after many adventures, including a brief stay with the Phaeacians, who help him return home. Disguised as a beggar, he finds his home overtaken by suitors, vying for his wife Penelope's hand in marriage. Penelope has remained faithful, waiting for his return, and has devised clever strategies to fend off the suitors. The reunion and revenge. With the help of his son Telemachus, Odysseus reveals his identity and devises a plan to reclaim his home. He participates in a contest of archery set by Penelope, which only he can win. After he strings his great bow and shoots an arrow through 12 axe heads, he reveals himself to the suitors. In a fierce battle, Odysseus, Telemachus, and loyal servants defeat the suitors, restoring order to his